Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning to you. We got a little movement. Below yesterday's low so far. And it doesn't look like this downtrend is completely done just yet. Oof, nice setup earlier this morning. If y'all were up for it. Good morning, everybody. Paul Roberta Shayak, Goldfinger. Well, that's a throwback. I don't know why. That makes me want to play GoldenEye. Proximity mines. Come on, baby. Archer, good morning. Hey, Bill. Hey, Squid. All right, so aside from that, again, we're below yesterday's low. We have this major level from the past month. Was resistance, turned support. See if we can get back there. And if we can get below it, that would finally be a little bit of a correction from this daily action. Good morning, Mike. Yeah, the GoldenEye pause song from on N64. Got to get that pumping. All right, market's gonna be open here in just a sec. There's the bell. Let's see if this downtrend can get a new low. Over on NQ. Could already be played out. We're bouncing off of yesterday's low. A little bit different flavor over there. I guess we could mark the ES chart the same way. That would be unfortunate because that would set us up for a range. Good morning, Saif. Good morning, Bruno. And yeah, we don't really have much catalyst for today. Again, as I've been saying, very light news week. No scheduled economic releases today. So that's unfortunate if we're wanting some good movement from the market. And looks like now we're getting that pop up. Which is kind of signifying that this downtrend may already be over. We have moved down, double bottom, higher low. If we get past this swing high here, our hopes for that downtrend are completely over. We don't want that. Good morning, Slide. Muazzam. Good morning to you. We're right at yesterday's low here. Morning, Ron. All right, so ES again is right there at yesterday's low, testing it right now. If we can get a push below the EMA soon, maybe this wider trend is still good. And we could look for, actually I'd look for a second entry, a double lower high here. We can get that, and then, well, you know what? No, can't do that yet because we have this short-term uptrend in play. So ideally, we got a little break here. We could see a new high and then a push down and a double lower high. That's what I would be looking for here. Right, there's our push up. That's what we're hoping for. Still holding that EMA again. I mean, we could consider a long setup here. We have one move higher. Got that. Almost have that second pullback. We could consider a long. I would prefer to trade from the short side because of that possible wider downtrend. So, and then we're breaking the EMA there anyway. or we're getting a push above the EMA. So yeah, at this point, if we get a really nice higher low, even though I don't want to trade from the long side, I still will. But it's got to look really nice. Good morning, Tick Trader, Tom, Joss. And please, yeah, smash that like button this morning, guys. Would appreciate it. If you appreciate the content at all, if there's any little inkling that, hey, this is pretty helpful, little click of the like button is all I request. And if you really want to support the channel, consider using my code for prop firms. That all goes back into the channel as well. So 2 ways you can support. Yeah, I know, Archer. We had some movement pre-market. Now we're kind of settling in, getting very wedge-like, right? We got these rising higher lows, these falling lower highs. Not great. And we're hanging out right at that key level on ES here. Morning, Cricket. Good morning, Ed. What if it goes kaput? I'm guessing you mean, what if the market drops? Great. Then we'll look for shorts. Hey, good morning, Martin. Good morning, gaming. All right, here's the possibility of that higher low. This bar is pretty high up though. Okay, didn't set up anyway. Let's see what this next bar looks like. And again, I am more leaning on the downside here. We got that possible larger downtrend that we're still waiting for a new extreme of. But not super clear structure here altogether. Okay, here we go. Decent higher low. It's kind of going too high though. We're in a quarter. We only got a 1.5 to get out before that high, so I don't really like that. Yeah, not a strong bar. I'm gonna skip that. D Blanc. What's up, D Blanc? Good morning. All right, we almost got that new high. Once we get that again, we'll be looking for a push below the EMA and a double lower high. All right, there is the new high. So far, that's exactly what we've expected to see, what we wanted to see. Now, see if we can get push down. If we do, we will be expecting to come test this low. Over on NQ, this is looking like it might be a measured move up to 21,386. We don't really have that larger downtrend to work with. It pretty clearly looks like a break in a new low here, and we bounced right off of this key level. So Nasdaq's chart looks a little bit more bullish. Well, I wouldn't say bullish, but more neutral. S&P starting to look like it wants to pop down. When it does, we'll be looking for that short, looking for that double lower high. All right, so again, we're looking to see if the market can push down, watching each bar closely to see if it makes a lower high. So far, we don't have any lower highs. Nothing here. Yeah, Archer, that's a definite possibility. If we are able to stay above this key level, I will consider this larger downtrend already played out, because again, that's what NQ is showing, and it'd be very easy to draw this tighter, already played out like this, which makes a lot of sense with this overall kind of nasty range looking structure. But we'll see. I'm still holding out hope that maybe we'll get a push down. And either way, whether or not the larger downtrend is played out, we still could look for a double lower high. Even if, let's imagine, this downtrend is played out, like we're still in kind of a range structure. This uptrend has been played out, and so we could still look for a reversal to complete this range. See if this bearish bar gets any momentum. Right now it just looks like we're about to push a little bit higher. ES might be going to test this swing here. Should be the top of the potential range. Either way, we do expect a bearish correction pretty soon, given the fact that this uptrend is played out. So even if we're not overall bearish on the day, we can't really go long here, especially at the top of this range. Still not really seeing any follow through on that bearish hammer. And looking a little bit slow, much like the price action yesterday. At least we got some more movement though. This looks a lot more directional than yesterday did. So here we go, attempt to break out of that range area. You're really aggressive, you could consider a failed breakout here, but this isn't like a super confirmed range or anything, so it would be extremely aggressive. Nasdaq, you have a bit more of just a standard uptrend going. Could certainly draw this uptrend wider, and yeah, I'd actually be leaning towards looking for a long on Nasdaq. Okay, could this be our failed breakout here? If so, we'll be looking for some follow through and a couple lower high confirmations. Nice. It's a nice rejection of that area. Let's see if we can get some confirmation on it. Looking for that double lower high. And again, we'll also consider a long on the Nasdaq if this pullback holds that EMA really well. So kind of two possibilities of a bias here. Just making it a little tricky to read. All right. Nice bounce up off of that range high there. Starting to lean towards more of a bullish outlook. Really hard to draw a wider trend on ES though. So if we go long, I think Nasdaq's going to be our symbol of choice. It's been a more clear, structure's been more clear there. Nasdaq still hasn't pulled back all the way to give us a chance to join this thing. Yes, attempting to go lower yet again. That would be our first lower high if we're looking on the short side. Then we just want the EMA to break and retest like so. Testing the EMA now. Let's see how strong it is. All right, now we're getting the drop on ES so far. Again, we'll be looking to see if we can get a lower high here now that the EMA is broken. NQ staying pretty decently strong though. Yeah, sellers did not really get anywhere on that attempt lower. So far, at least, right? Just looking at this secondary channel as a possibility. We're just going to have to wait and see here, though. Yeah, EMA is holding. Oh, dang. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What on earth? If anyone's got news on this, please do tell. I do not have my news ticker up right now, unfortunately. That's definitely news-like. Trying to get that up right now. All right, let's see. Aha. The European Union is preparing a trade proposal. Technically speaking, Nasdaq's trend has had a break and a new high. That trend may be played out. Yeah, that wasn't home sales. That's for sure, Tom. Yeah, that was off the European Union news, I believe. That's going to be the case, guys. Any sort of trade talks, trade deals, those kind of things are going to be really bullish on the market. Oh, there you go, Mike. That was probably that. Dunkin' Donuts to start selling sprinkle donuts in Europe. I'm not gonna lie, man. A donut sounds really freaking good right now. What's your guys' favorite donut? Not like company, but like what's maple bar? What do you got? Apple fritter? What do we got out there? Classic glaze. Okay. All right. I can't fault you for that. Fritter. A free donut, says Ryan. Or Ron, sorry. Yeah. I can't go wrong with free donut, that's for sure. Old fashioned, those are solid. I personally like anything with cinnamon. So like cinnamon buns, good. Twists are good. Bear claws, apple fritters. That's a good point, Archer. That's a scam if I ever heard one. Give you less of the product and then sell you the part that they took off. So good though. So good. Getting another push up. Yes, I got this kind of secondary channel going. It's holding pretty well. So as long as we stay up above that range high, I'll be looking for a long. Here's what I don't like about donuts, guys. I don't like the trend of expensive donuts. Like, I don't know, maybe not where you guys are. I live in Portland, Oregon, all right? And there's a trend of like these fancy donut shops. You're gonna pay like $7 for a donut. Can you believe that? Donuts are supposed to be cheap as hell. You're supposed to like go in there and it's almost like they pay you to take their donuts. That's how it ought to be. So I don't like that fancy hipster donut mentality. I want some cheap donuts, you know? VK reacts, is it lagging? No, probably not. I bet you're not caught up to live. Go look in the corner of your screen, see if you're caught up. Bet you're not. All right, so we'll look for a really good bar here. We have pullback, EMA is holding, second pullback. We just need to see a nice green bar here. No, we're not 4 or 5 seconds behind. You guys just aren't caught up to live. Anytime you navigate away from YouTube and then go back, it will not stay on live. So I'm calling shenanigans on you guys. Nice, Fernando. Sounds good, man. Yeah, that news definitely sent a shockwave through the market there. I think it's waiting to hear the results of that. This bar does not qualify. We have not yet ticked lower. We need to see a tick lower, something like that, to trigger some of these orders and then reverse into a nice bullish bar. So that I'd be looking for to get long. Well, Mike, I would say that you, my friend, are in the future, so you should really take advantage of that. Market drop in. I'm going to be deleting that secondary channel. It was an idea. It was an idea, but doesn't look to be holding. And as I said, a requirement for that channel and for that long was for this to hold. This range top, and so far it's not happening. Starting to get a nice little move down here on ES. Shayak surprised the market's going up. Yeah, well, I've been kind of surprised the market's going up the last couple weeks. As far as like macro economics go, not a great backdrop. We're pretty much just jumping up on hope and a lot of nothing. So, but the market's gonna do what it's gonna do, and it kind of doesn't matter what our analysis is. Like, price is truth. So if it's going down, it's going down. If it's going up, it's going up. We have to respect it. Motivation healing, the ORB not working. Yep. The ORB by itself does not work. It's not a profitable strategy. You have to You have to add a bunch more confluences or something, but by itself, the ORB does not work. The opening range break, Martin. So a lot of people will mark like the first 5 minutes range or first 15 minutes range or 30 minutes. Those are probably the most popular. And then when it breaks out, they try to buy the breakout or sell the breakdown, but it doesn't have an edge in and of itself. We got this little downtrend here on ES. Not really gaining ground, and Nasdaq is still kind of just hanging out on the EMA. So yeah, we're kind of between two biases here. Two biases. I don't know the plural for that. We're between two possibilities here, so we just need to wait and be patient until things are a little bit more clear. Yeah, market settling in here. If we can get a second pullback to the EMA and a bearish bar, I could consider taking that short. Motivation healing, do I suggest learning PATS? I mean, that's essentially what I'm teaching, more or less. Marcin, hello. Good day to you. Marcin, thank you for that technical help there. If you're having latency issues, plus right click on the screen, stats for nerds, there is live latency from YouTube. There you go. There you go. I got all my settings for the highest everything. So yeah, I've done all I can do on my end, guys. I've selected the lowest possible latency. I have really fast internet, fast everything. So if there's any latency issues, take it up with YouTube. All the way from Poland. Nice. Hey, Michael. Yeah, good to see you. Yes, I've been full-time for like a year and a half now, so it's been good. Been good times. Okay, this would be the short if this bar turns around really bearish, but you gotta also watch NQ is bouncing off the EMA, kind of finding support there. And we did not get a good bearish bar on the S&P, so we'll have to hold off on that short. Justice, hello, my friend. What's up, Germany? Thanks for popping in. Glad you're finding some value in the stream. Good to have you around. Sellers are really not doing much here, guys. I would lean towards the bullish side. We can consider a lower high here below the EMA, but it's one of those I'm like, I'm not really expecting this to set up. Looks more like we might continue to grind. Mwazam. I have to upload a video on how to find daily bias. You know, it's honestly not too hard. There's not really much to it. One little tip, look at the overnight low and the overnight high. If we're not trading outside of that, there is no bias really. So that's one tip you can look at every single day. Right now, we are basically smack dab in the middle of this large range. So the bias for today so far is inside choppy day, right? Now, obviously we can see since the open, we have gone up and every attempt lower has bounced, right? Every little move lower has gone up. So generally, the movement for the day is up. But again, that's only like this little part, right? As far as the whole day, we haven't really gone anywhere. Hopefully that's helpful for you. See if we can get a lower high here. We got this little move down. We got a break. We would expect one more push to a new extreme. Let's see if we can get a lower high to execute that. Yep, no chance to get in on that. This bar was above the EMA, then we needed a lower high. Nothing happened. Did not get it. Another little trick for daily bias is to look at yesterday's high and low during the New York session. This is the high, this is the low, and see where we are relative to that. Right now, we are above yesterday's low. So if we continued to trade lower down in here, that would be a more bearish sign. But the fact that every time we've come here and tested it, we've stayed above is saying, okay, we are not likely going to have a bearish trend for the day. Justice, yes, that is very true. Trading has been sold as this like high energy. Oh man, just making money here, making money there. Enter this trade, and it's just not true. Professional trading is very. I mean, look, you're watching a bar chart form for hours on end, so like it's boring, right? And it should be. If you're excited about trading, if you're getting a rush from trading, you have a long way to go. You should be executing very methodically, like here's my setup, I'll take it, or nope, my setup, I guess I'm not taking anything. The more emotionally detached you are, the better off you will be. If you can't sit for a couple hours without doing anything, you ain't gonna make it. Don't worry, guys, that was my connection, not yours. We were testing yesterday's low yet again. See if we can break through it. NQ's remaining pretty strong here. S&P had a whole move down, and Nasdaq just stayed right here on top of the EMA. So some relative strength in the Nasdaq. But no real way to trade this, as this is pretty much just a barcode here. Red, green, red, green, red, green. Anytime you see alternating bars just stacked together like that, just stay out of it. It won't go well. All right, starting to break down here. There is a possibility for a wider downtrend on ES. If we continue to drop, that's what I'll be looking at. But gonna hold off on that for just a minute. The Nasdaq still, again, has not followed. We would technically expect a bounce here on the S&P. So we had this move down, break new low. Let's see if we get that bounce. So we could consider kind of the next consideration for a trade if we get that bounce would be a double higher low. So one higher low here, breaking above the EMA, second higher low there, and ride that up. Yeah, that would be the next possibility. But if we keep dropping down, we're going to have to look at a wider trend and possibly some shorts. So that's kind of the plan here, guys. Another kind of slow inside day. Do not expect a trend day. We've already seen that, yeah, basically we haven't made any progress towards the overnight low, overnight high, or just hanging out right on yesterday's low. We really haven't gone anywhere. So there's still a chance, right? We've only had an hour of trading, but so far the indications are this is probably going to be an inside day. So trade accordingly. Don't put out a bunch of size. Yeah, it's just going to be kind of one of those days. Again, probably going to be a lot of these coming up. And that's part of trading, right? There's seasons to this thing. There's times where the market is killing it and you got to get after it. You got to put on size, make that money. And there's times when the market's going to just be slow and dead and you have to save your money. That's how it works. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, guys. Appreciate y'all. See you in the Discord. Links below for those who are not a part of that community. Look forward to seeing you over there. Have a great trading day, and I'll catch you next time. Later.